Hello everyone and happy crafting and welcome to my YouTube channel, Corinne's Crafts. I'm doing something a little bit different today and making this card really simple. I hope you like it, all using the Textures collection by Lou Collins. So watch the video and I'll show you how to achieve this really simple. As I said, Textures by Lou Collins, but I'm sure you've got other dies that you can be adding in here and creating something like this. I'd love to see what you make. I have been sent these products by the lovely Lou Collins. They're from her Textures range and specifically from her Wildflowers collection. So this is, I don't know if I can get it all in the screen, hopefully I can. So this is the Wildflower Editions A5 stamp set, absolutely gorgeous. You've got the butterfly, you've got the brick, you've got some lovely sentiments. I love this number background, extra numbers, lovely things like that. And then on here, this one is dies. So you've got the silhouette of the butterfly that works perfectly, as you'd expect with the stamp. You've got a dragonfly, you've got some numbers, you've got tags, you've got this gorgeous wildflower border. Now, there are also another couple of bits. There are her wildflower background, which is a die, and then a 4-piece sentiment set as well. I'm not going to use those in this project. What I'm going to be using is just these pieces here. So it's going to be so much fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to create something. This first project that I'm going to do with Lou's collection is really simple. Now, I'm going to be using die cuts. You could be using stamped images if you wanted to, and I'll show you where I mean. But we're going to keep it really, really simple. But I think it's going to be very, very effective. So the first thing I have done is cut myself 4 little pieces. Now, this is watercolour card. I'm not going to actually add any water. So if you just have normal regular card, that's going to work too. And then I'm going to get 4 inks, just 4 colours that you like. You can pick. I'm using my water reactive, so if you wanted to add a little bit of water on these, then you could. So what I'm going to do, I'm using my blending brushes from Time for Tea because I love these, and then I'm just going to ink on here. Now look at this, you get no clouding when you use a blending brush. It's an absolutely fantastic result. You can go in as many times as you like, but you don't put too much pressure on because you can hold it down here and then you can do that. So all I'm doing is I'm colouring 2/3, would you say? Something like that. And I'm leaving one corner blank. So do that. Sorry, I can just hold on to there. Make sure if you need to that you've got some kitchen roll or something handy that you can hold on to. Next, I'm going to come in with the blue. So I'm going to do, it will appear that I'm doing it the same, but I'm actually going to turn it round. So I'm going to take my blue next and I'm going to do exactly the same. You can do these in any order, any colours that you like. And again, I'm trying to do it roughly the same sort of area. If you see, look. That's not bad actually. Not a bad match. So that will do for that one. You can go as light or as dark as you want with these. And I'm actually going to put them like that. Can you see? So they work opposites. So the next ones I'm going to do is my red and my green. So my red I'm going to bring in. Now, I did it this way, but this time I'm going to do it this way. And you'll see what I mean? This is where you need a cloth sometimes because look, I've got a couple of marks on, but that's absolutely fine because I'm going to be coming in that way anyway. Look, you see, so I can blend that out. There you go. Keep your hands clean with a bit of, I'm using a cloth here or a piece of kitchen towel. It's entirely up to you. You can see just a little bit darker down in the bottom corner. There we go. So I've got that one next. Put my lid on. And then finally, I'm going to come down here with the green. I've gone quite a vivid green. Let's do exactly the same. Make sure I've got a clean piece of there, and I'm going to do it that way. Now, I've just turned that round to colour because I'm right-handed and it works better for me. Now, I'm not actually going to add any water. If you wanted to add water to get, you know, a more distressed look, you could. You're just going to have to make sure you get them very, very dry when you've finished. So we're going to do that. Now, I don't know if I gave you the measurements. I'm just going to reiterate them again. I don't think I did, but if I did, it's 2 1/4 by 3 inches. You can go any size you want, and the size will really depend upon the images that you're going to cut out and put on to there. But I found 2.5 by 3 inches works quite well. So if you remember, I put those that way around, and then so these ones are going to go that way around. Can you see? So we've now got this gorgeous effect. I think that's really, really effective. I've also cut some black card. So the black card is 1/8 of an inch bigger. So I went 2.25 there. So this is now 2 3/8. That was 3. So that's now 3 1/8. Those are going to stick on there, but I'm not going to stick them on yet because, and it'll make sense in a minute. So I'm just going to pop these out of the way. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get some black card. And out of that, I am going to cut the gorgeous, gorgeous, oops, can't pick it up, dragonfly. And that wildflower border. You can see that'll go on here. And I needed another image. So I just found something else that I had. And I had getting it caught up here. I got a rose that was giving me quite a lacy detail. And I'm going to cut those out like that. So I can get all 3 images in at once. 3 images, because what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to cut this wildflower border in half. So run that through your die cutting machine, and I've actually done it because you just need to poke out all the bits, so I thought I would do that in advance. So I've got my border, I've got my gorgeous rose, and I've got my dragonfly. So those are going to work brilliantly. So then what you need to do is you just need to snip your border in half, just like that. That's as near as half as I can get. I can do that. Don't worry about this because we're going to be trimming down the edges anyway. So I've now got 4 pieces. So now it's just thinking about where it's going to go. So if we, whoops, like throwing pieces away. If we're going to put them like that, doesn't matter which way around, I'm going to perhaps do flowers on one. I try and do it the same as I did before. So I'm going to put that one on there. I'm going to put this one down here. I'm going to put my dragonfly up there. And I'm going to put my rose like that. There we go. I like that. So let's just get some glue, just some water-based glue. I've got it in my controlled applicator. So all we're going to do is we're going to take these, and then we're just going to, I'm just looking at this. These are going to fit on there just perfectly, aren't they? So we can just then put some glue on here. Just a small controlled amount. Now, if you wanted to, what you could also do is you could put some double-sided adhesive on the back of your black card before you cut it, and then you wouldn't need to be putting any glue on if you wanted to. Now, remember, you could be adding water to that ink because I've used a water reactive ink if you wanted to create the a different effect. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that on here. I'm not using the black border at the bottom. And I'm just going to pop that. If you wanted to, you could. It's entirely up to you. And I'm going to just get my cloth and I'm just going to press that down to make it stick. There we go. If you needed to, just turn it over and give it a good rub. Because obviously all these glues are activated by heat. So the more friction you add, the better. So I'll leave that for a minute. Then I'm going to do the dragonfly. It doesn't matter which order you put these on. But I'm just trying to make sure that I get glue on all of the extremities because we are going to be cutting bits off, so you need to make sure that you've got it well glued down. So we can then put this one on. I just wanted to do something a little bit different. I had a look through at some of the projects that Lou had made with this collection, and her design team. I think it's her design team, and I just wanted something, you know, trying to be a little bit different, and I thought that this project hit that mark. I hope Lou likes it too. I'll make sure she sees it as well. So if you are loving this, I will put a link to where you can get Lou's products from. I'll just have a check in a minute and we can see where to get those from. So I've done 2, and then I'm going to bring in the 3rd. one is here, and I'm just using this flower. So I know this one is from a different collection, but I just needed that fourth element, so I thought this worked quite well. It still felt like it was in keeping, but again, where I'm sticking die cuts on, you could be stamping images on. So if you do stamp images on, then make sure that you go over the edges, because that is going to give you the effect that we're looking for. I'm just making sure I get all the little bits. Now, if you love the elements I'm using from Lou's Wildflower collection, then they are all available on Craft Stash, or alternatively you can go onto YouTube and look up paper crafting with Lou Collins. She's on there. It's massive. Her YouTube channel has so many followers, so yeah, she's always on there. She posts very regularly using all of her elements, and she gives lots and lots of hints and tips. In fact, I was watching one of her videos just recently, all about inky smooching, which is really funny, because the other video I'm doing with Lou's collection, I've actually done the exact same thing myself. I've done some inky smooching techniques. So I'm going to bring this one right down. Now, I don't want... Let's see if I can. How did I do this? I did this. So I cut this one off, and then I cut this one off because it wasn't working just right. So if I cut that off like that, and then, oh, there's the one that I've just cut off from there. And I put, you see, this is a great thing about die cuts, is you can change them. If they're not working quite right, then snip into them, change them, make them work for you. So come on, Corinne, get this to stick. Now, because I'm going on to watercolor card, obviously that's very, very porous, so it's just sometimes it takes a little bit longer to get the glue to adhere, but don't worry, just a little bit of pressure. Now remember, with a lot of these water-based glues, less is more, and they stick better when they're tacky rather than wet. So yeah, just remember that. So pop that on there. I'm just going to give it a quick turn over and a little burnish to make sure everything is stuck down. I didn't give that one a good rub. Let's see if I can do that from the back as well. Brilliant. So I just thought that looked a little bit better than that chunky one I had. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn these over, and I'm just butting my scissors up to the edge of the card, and I'm just trimming off any bits that are overhanging. So I'm not cutting the watercolor card, but I'm using it to guide my scissors. So there's that one. Then we can come on here, guiding it along just there. If you struggle with that, you can always put them back through your paper trimmer if you wanted to. What you could have done is cut your card a little bit bigger and then cut it down to the 2¼ inches by 3 inches once you'd put your silhouette images on. Both, it works both ways. So we can do that one, and there we go. So you can see how fantastic that looks. Let me just get all of the little bits out of the way, because that's a little bit distracting. There we go. So you can see now I've got my 4 images just like that. Now they look lovely if you look at that, but wait till you see what happens when you put them on to black card. It really, really outlines them. So I'm just using my all-purpose glue. There's no coatings on any of these cardstock, so I'm not having to worry about the glue that I use. Oh, I've got stringy bits there. So as I said, this is 1/8 of an inch. I thought 1/4 of an inch was too big a border, because for something so small. It would be a little bit dominating. So, you know, just trim down. So if you are, you can either use your scoreboard, which has 1/8 of an inch markings to mark on what you want, where you want to cut, or just use 1/2 notch on your paper trimmer, because most paper trimmers go up in 1/4 inch notches. So yeah, so it's easy to do, but again, it's just a guide. As long as they're all the same, then it doesn't matter. As long as all the white watercolor card pieces are the same size, and then all of the black pieces are the same size, it'll be brilliant. So I just got a little bit. There we go. Come on, stick. There we are. Great thing is both of these glues dry nice and clear, so I'm not too worried about that. Oh, I've lost my 4th one. There we go. Put this on here. This card is really, really easy to put together, and it's going to be a lot of black and white with just a little pop of colour on the front. And you can see why I personally prefer to use a wet glue when I'm doing my mats and layers like this, because it just gives, you've seen a couple of times I've wriggled things around if I've needed to, so it just works best for me. So there we go, let's just put that on there. There we go, it was just lifting a little bit. Right, so they're my 4 windows. Do you want to call them? That's one thing. The other thing I did was using the stamp set we've got here. I have stamped out Create Something Beautiful Every Day. I've done it in advance only because they're quite fiddly to stamp and then cut down to be so small. It was just something I didn't think would look good trying to do it on there. And then I've used the Flight, Love and Hope, and I've done those again, stamped them onto white card, and then just put a little black border all the way around. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop these onto some white card, regular everyday white card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just place these to begin with. Now what I've got, let me measure this again because I made this yesterday. It is 7 1/8 by 5 3/8. I know, but you can just roughly do it. And what I'm going to, let's just measure these again. So what I've done is I want to sort of make my border bottom, sides and middle the same. So when you put these on, I'm going to have a bit too much in the middle. This was actually happened by accident. I wrongly measured my card. So you can see that. So I've got a bigger bit in the middle. Perfect. I just placed them to begin with, just so that I can see. And I'm still going flat. I'm not adding any anything to raise them. If you wanted to, you could raise these up. Just make sure they're nice and straight. Making sure my borders are roughly the same. So the thing is, once you start, you just need to make sure your borders line up. So on here, I'm going to make sure that this border carries across, can you see, across there and across there, and then bring that in. So I've got a nice even space just there. You see, just like that. So then when I've done those two, I've not pressed down too hard on them, so they've still got a little bit of wriggle room. So I'm going to put this one on, and the most important thing on this is making sure that that lines up. So we can pop that on to there. So I've got the same border there, and that lines up with that one. And then you get little bits everywhere. I'm a really messy crafter. Everyone thinks I'm really tidy. I'm really not. I am the messiest crafter going. And I have gone, what am I doing? I have put these completely the wrong way round. I wasn't paying enough attention. Let's start again. Corinne, wow, I nearly messed up there. Pop those. I was so busy doing what I needed to do that I wasn't paying any attention at all. Did I have that one in the right place? I might have actually had that one in the right place. Wow, nearly got that wrong. There we go. Were you all screaming at the camera saying, Corinne, you've not got them right? I bet you were. But nothing is final until it's all stuck down. There we go. Wow, I can't believe I nearly did that. That was so close. Let's go again. Put a bit more glue on here. I'm so busy talking, I'm not actually looking at what I'm doing, which is dangerous, I know. Let's move that one, put that one, and that's going on there. I love that. I'm glad not glad it went wrong, but it just shows you how we all do things wrong from time to time, and it's just about putting them right, isn't it? And just getting it right in the longer run, longer term, isn't it? That's all that matters. Because I did this before, now that does not look straight. Where have I gone wrong? There we go. Let's get that a little bit. That looks much better. There we are. And I'm just going to take my glue eraser and just go down there just to get rid of any gluey residue. And I can take it down here. These are worth their weight in gold. I have put links on to those already. And then the next thing I'm going to do is the one I've stamped. I have put some foam tape on the back. But what I've also done is I've gone round it just with a black pen, and I've just edged that with a little bit of black marker pen. Don't want to do it all because I don't want it to be wet. Just so that white foam pads don't show. Now I know you can get black foam pads, and I have got some black foam pads, but these ones were just the right size for what I wanted. So I didn't want to have to mess that around with that. So that now, because I've got everything flat so far, I'm actually going to just put a little bit of wet glue on there. Because one, these are old foam pads, and two, I want to be able to move it around. So put that, you see that's not in the middle, is it? That's in the middle. There we go. Let me lift that up so you can see. You see how that's just raised up there. And look at that, we've got that colour all sort of dispersing out from the middle. Now you can then just pop these on here, and I'm going to pop these. I thought about putting fly there, and then I thought, no, people are going to think it is a fly if I put fly there, even though it's a dragonfly. I was determined, that was one conscious decision I made, was not to put fly just there, because I thought it just wouldn't work. So I can put love. You don't have to use them all. Just use what you want. Hope. That one probably could have done with being a little bit of 3D glue, just because I've gone over the die cut, but it'll work. And then fly on there. So isn't that looking brilliant? Then again, to make it pop even more, I'm going to lift that up, and I'm going to put that onto some black. Again, I've gone up by 1/8 of an inch because I want to keep my borders really, really tight. Again, I'm going in with wet glue as opposed to tape, just because, well, you just saw how wrong I went a few minutes ago. So it just helps me. So we can put that like that. And you can see I've got that lovely slim border all the way around. Can you see? All the way around on there. Looks amazing. And then just to finish it off, I've got a piece of card. Now this was the 16 inches width of a piece of A3 card. So what I've done is I've folded it in half, so that is now 8 1/4, and my width is 6 1/2. So onto there I'm just putting some black. Now I have used quite a lot of black and white, and you could effectively, if that was smaller, just come on with that layer. And I think that looks effective as it is. But what I'm going to do is go on here. The other one I nearly did was I nearly made this, the black, my card base, because I'd just have to made it out of black card. I nearly did that. I do like a white card base. Yeah, so I changed my mind. I'm just going to go that way around. Put this one on here. Again, white. And I do like my all-purpose glue for things like this, because it just adds strength and rigidity to the project. And so I'm going to pop that on to there. And then the next thing I'm going to do, just give that a minute to grab. I'm going to take this one. Now, the lovely people at Sticks 2 have just sent me some foam tape. Look at this roll. You can see it's a brand new roll. It hasn't even been opened. Let's get that open. Now, this is the 1mm. And I love this because, look, it's what it's about. And let me just check. It is about 1/8 of an inch wide, which I think is brilliant. So I'm just going to cut off some pieces. And I want... This would work flat, but I wanted to add a little bit, a very slight bit of height. So that's why I'm using this 1mm tape, because I just think that works brilliantly. I'm not going to waste any bits. And then just cut one more. Put one more. Oh, I overcut that again, didn't I? So just put that there. There we go. So yeah, I will put a link to the Sticks 2 website, because so that you can be using, getting hold of that as well. Because the one I linked before that I've used from Amazon was a lot wide. I think it was like double the width, not the height, but it was double the width. And I just think this width works brilliant. Those pieces there, I'm not even going to take the backing off there. They were just spare bits, but they add to support, so just leave those like that. And I'm just putting a little bit of wet glue on here, just to give me a minute for it to grab. You can see on there. Right, turn it over, make sure I've got my card the right way up. Tent fold, you know me, always tent fold. We're going to pop this on here, and that's going to go just like that. Pop that. Oh, that feels really firm. Oh, I like that foam tape. It's the first time I've used it. That feels lovely. And that is my card. How amazing is that? So no gems, no ribbons, nothing, but I love that. And that is all made, apart from the extra die cut I just popped on there, which was just a flower that I had, all made with the textures by Lou Collins, and it's from the Wildflower collection. So the dies and the stamps. The dies are definitely available over on Craft Stash if you go and have a look on there. I think the stamps might be out of stock, but I'm sure you've got other things that you can add there. Go have a look on Craft Stash for Lou Collins Textures collection, and you too can make this one. I hope you like that. I've had fun making that. Something a little bit different for me, but equally as fun.